The Galactic Council chamber fell into an unprecedented hush as the final transmission from Earth cut to static. Ambassador Krell of the Vorthan Empire stood frozen at his podium, his forearms trembling imperceptibly. Around him, representatives from 200 civilizations exchanged glances that transcended species barriers. They all understood what had just happened. Earth had gone silent. For 3,000 years, humanity had been the voice that never stopped. Their broadcasts filled every frequency, their ships patrolled every trade route, their diplomats argued in every forum. They were the species that talked when others fought, that negotiated when others conquered, that built bridges when others built walls. The humans were exhausting, infuriating, and absolutely everywhere, and now they were gone. Commander Thex of the Rillan fleet was the first to break the silence. Perhaps their communications array has malfunctioned. Earth technology is notoriously unreliable. But even as he spoke, the holographic display at the center of the chamber updated. The blue-green marble of Earth, usually pulsing with communication signals and orbital traffic, had become a dark sphere. No lights on the night side. No heat signatures from their cities. No electromagnetic noise from their billions of devices. "The Dominion has finally done it," whispered Counselor Vara, her crystalline form resonating with dread. "They have destroyed humanity." 3 days earlier, the Zelkan Dominion had issued their ultimatum to Earth: surrender unconditionally or face complete annihilation. It was the same demand they had made to 40 other species, all of whom had either submitted or been reduced to radioactive glass. The Dominion's neutron cascade weapons could strip away an entire planet's atmosphere in hours, leaving nothing but sterile rock. Humanity had responded to the ultimatum the way they responded to everything. They talked. They sent diplomats. They proposed compromises. They offered trade agreements and cultural exchanges. They did what humans always did, which was refuse to accept that violence was the only answer. The galaxy had laughed. Humans were soft, everyone said. They had achieved spaceflight through cooperation rather than conquest. Their military was a joke compared to the ancient war machines of the Dominion. They spent more resources on communication satellites than weapons platforms. Now, staring at the dead world on the display, no one was laughing. "We should send a reconnaissance probe," suggested Admiral Grath of the Ketran Navy. "Confirm what has happened." "No need," Krell said quietly. His species had fought humans once centuries ago and lost, not through military defeat, but through something far more insidious. The humans had simply talked them into peace. Treaty after treaty, trade deal after trade deal, until the Vorthan Empire's economy was so intertwined with Earth's that war became impossible. If Earth is silent, then we already know what comes next. The younger representatives looked confused, but the older ones understood. They remembered the stories, the legends that had become jokes over the centuries. Humans were not warriors, everyone said. They were merchants and diplomats, scientists and artists. They were the species that had somehow convinced the galaxy that war was inefficient. But the old ones remembered what Earth had been before first contact. They remembered the classified files, the archaeological evidence, the history that humanity had tried so hard to bury. A species that had split the atom before achieving spaceflight. A species that had turned their entire planet into an armed camp not once but dozens of times. A species that had invented weapons so terrible they had sworn never to use them again. And they remembered the promise humanity had made when they joined the Galactic Council. "We choose peace," Earth's first ambassador had said. "But if peace is taken from us, we will return to what we were. And what we were should terrify you." On the 4th day, the first Dominion fleet disappeared, not destroyed, not defeated, simply gone. One moment, Task Force Hammer was in orbit around their staging base at Kepler 442. The next moment, empty space. No debris, no energy signatures, no distress signals. On the 5th day, 3 more fleets vanished, then 5. Then 12. The Dominion's Supreme War Master called an emergency session of his general staff. What weapon could do this? What technology? His advisors had no answers. The humans were dead. Their world was a tomb. Their colonies had gone dark one by one as the news spread. How could a dead species be destroying fleets? On the 6th day, the answer came. Every Dominion world received the same message simultaneously, not through their communication systems, which would have been impossible to synchronize across such distances. The message simply appeared. burned into the sky above every Dominion city in letters of fire that hung in the air for exactly 1 hour. You killed our dream. Now we will show you our nightmare. It was signed with a simple identifier, Earth Contingency Protocol 7. The Galactic Council's archives contained only fragments about Earth's contingency protocols. Protocol 1 was believed to be diplomatic isolation. Protocol 3 involved economic sanctions. Protocol 5 was rumored to be military defense. But Protocol 7 had been redacted from all records at humanity's request when they joined the Council. Now the galaxy learned why. The humans were not dead. They had simply stopped talking. In hidden bunkers beneath Earth's scorched surface, in cloaked stations throughout the asteroid belt, in sleeper ships that had drifted disguised as debris for centuries, humanity's true military awakened. Not the token peacekeeping forces they showed the galaxy, but the dark instruments they had built in secret, hoping never to use them. The antimatter manufactories on Titan increased production thousandfold. The quantum tunneling devices tested in Earth's collapsed core went online. The artificial intelligence systems that humanity had publicly banned began their tactical calculations. The bioweapons they had sworn to destroy were loaded into delivery systems, but most terrifying of all were the humans themselves. The galaxy had seen human soldiers before. Peacekeepers in blue helmets who smiled and helped rebuild after conflicts. What emerged from the bunkers were something else entirely. These humans did not smile. They did not speak. They moved with perfect coordination, their minds linked through neural implants that the galaxy had thought were purely theoretical. They were not individuals anymore. They were a single organism with 1 billion bodies and one terrible purpose. The Dominion's core world lasted 17 hours, not 17 days or 17 weeks. 17 hours from the moment the first human ship appeared in their sky until the last Dominion citizen drew breath. The humans did not bomb them from orbit. That would have been too impersonal. They came down to the surface and went through every city, every building, every room. They did not torture. They did not gloat. They simply eliminated every living thing with the cold efficiency of a machine cleaning corrupted data. The galaxy watched in horrified silence as world after world went dark. The humans were methodical, thorough, and absolutely silent. No demands, no negotiations, no mercy. They had become the very thing they had spent millennia trying not to be. Ambassador Krell stood before the Galactic Council as the last Dominion world fell. "We must stop them," someone cried. "They will destroy everything." "No," Krell said, his voice heavy with the weight of understanding. "They will destroy the Dominion. Every trace, every cell, every molecule that ever bore their mark. And then they will stop." "How can you know?" "Because humans are not monsters," Krell replied. "Monsters enjoy destruction. Humans are something far more terrifying. They are a species that chose peace despite being perfectly designed for war. They locked away their darkness and tried to be better. But we forced them to open that door." He was right. On the 10th day, when the last Dominion bunker had been cracked open and its occupants eliminated, when every ship bearing their flag had been reduced to atoms, when their very name had been erased from every record and monument, the humans stopped. Earth's communication systems came back online. Their ships returned to their patrol routes. Their diplomats resumed their negotiations. They talked and traded and smiled as if nothing had happened, but the galaxy had learned a terrible truth. Humanity's greatest weapon was not their hidden fleets or secret weapons. It was their choice to be peaceful, because a species that could choose peace after evolving for war, that could lock away such darkness and still smile, that could destroy an entire civilization in days and then return to building bridges, was a species that should never be pushed to make a different choice. The Council voted unanimously to classify all records of the Dominion's extinction. Officially, they had never existed. Unofficially, every species in the galaxy now knew the real meaning of Earth's motto, inscribed beneath their flag at the Council chambers. "We extend our hand in friendship. Pray you never force us to make a fist." Earth had gone silent for 10 days, and in that silence the galaxy had heard the loudest message humanity had ever sent: never again.